everybody. It's Michelle from SangriaSisters.com, and I have Kelly with me here today.
Hi.
We're excited to be coming at you together this time. It's our first time doing a joint recording, and it's a lot of fun. It's good for us to catch up in person this way and to be able to say hi to you. So a couple weeks ago, we put a call out there asking if you had any questions for us, and we got a few back. So we're going to go over those today. But before we do, we have to give Kelly for her 75 plus pounds down.
Yes, very exciting. 76.8.
That is so awesome. And what were you saying, that you get a keychain, but then you were telling me?
You get a keychain when you hit your 10%.
Okay.
And then you get a medal to put on it for 25, 50, 75, and 100. Which is kind of funny because the 10% is supposed to come before the 25. But if you start at 350, you get your little charm before you get the keychain. So anyways, but I have my 25, 50, and 75.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then, so, like, do they do anything special for you if you hit like 125, 150?
I don't think so. We'll see. Maybe another 25. Maybe get a second 25 medal.
I think the reward should be sponsoring a best friend trip to Omaha. How about that?
That would be nice.
I think that'll be well earned.
Yeah, we definitely need a sponsor.
All right. Well, speaking of Weight Watchers, one of the questions that came in for Kelly was, do you find it challenging in terms of your point system to eat as naturally as you do? You talk a lot about not relying on, a lot of the processed foods, and unfortunately, a lot of those processed 1-point, 2-point snacks, aren't in alignment with kind of what your diet vision has been. So have you found that challenging at all?
Yeah, I'm not the only one. Today at the meeting, there was a lady sitting behind me, and she said she used to always eat this whole grain bread. And when we started the New Points Plus program, it became 5 points, and she found out she could eat the white one for 4 points. And so now she's feeling really torn about whether to eat white bread or whole grain bread because of an extra point. And for me, Michelle knows this, I haven't really shared it much publicly, but I really struggle with counting points because of that. Because I start thinking, oh, if I eat this instead of that, I can eat fewer points, and then you start eating kind of crappy food. So for me, yeah, I think it is difficult, and I have chosen to focus more on whole foods than on points. So, but it is hard. I mean, there's no doubt about it that if you read on the internet, you can find people that say, for the same amount of points that I can have, whatever, a double cheeseburger, that's what it's cost me to have a healthy something with nuts in it. Mm-hmm. And, I just think it just comes down to personal choice. And the reality is you can lose weight either way, and you choose what's more important to you. And for me, it's the natural foods. So,
do you find that it's more filling to choose those foods compared to the other
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Yeah, definitely more filling.
Cool. One of the other questions that came in for me was, what was my biggest fear going into having weight loss surgery, and has that fear come true? I had some fears associated with surgery complications, but I didn't, like I was telling Kelly earlier, I didn't really obsess about them. I think, I knew so many people that had been successful and without a lot of complications that I didn't have a ton of worries about that. I think my biggest fear all along from day one of considering this was, what if I was one of the people that regained all of their weight? And I struggle with that fear daily. I have no easy solutions to how to manage that fear, other than to not obsess too much about what's to come and what the future will hold, and really focus on making as many good choices as I can for the here and now. So
did you have any fears around telling your coworkers or telling your friends or your neighbors or any of that?
It's funny. You know me, I'm so public about this. I've been Kelly and I had met on message boards like eons ago, and have been through a couple different message boards together. And I was always very public about it in those forums. I don't, it's funny. I was a little hesitant about the workplace environment. I did share it with my immediate coworkers because I knew it was probably going to be pretty obvious. And I was met with a ton of support. It's still uncomfortable for me when people that I don't know at all, like they just recognize me from the hallway, will stop and make comments about my body.
Right. Yeah.
That's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Like, I think I was telling you one day I walked into the bathroom and there were two women in the stalls talking about me when I walked in, and they had no idea that I had just walked in, and that was like super uncomfortable. And I just hightailed it out of there.
Good idea.
Yeah. But I'm a big believer. Well, let me back up. I think having a community of support is really important, whomever those support members might be. So whether it's, your friends, your family, whatever, who's likely to be more of your cheerleader than not.
Right.
And so I think you just have to be, conscientious about that. And there may be naysayers, and you just kind of have to roll with it and be secure in the choices that you're making. So,
yeah.
Yep. Let's see here. What else? We've got a question for both of us, and it's, are we disappointed in ourselves or are we frustrated or disappointed that it's taken us so many times, or we've tried losing weight so many times? You want to start off with that one?
Sure. So I'll say that when I have been in the midst of trying to lose weight and I have given up, I would say yes, I was extremely frustrated and disappointed that I had failed again. I will say now, though, looking back, I think, I just don't think that the time was right for me. And I posted about this week that I don't know why it's working this time. I think a big part of it is that little girl that is in my life now that makes me really want to live life and not be on the sidelines. But I think that I have learned so much. I mean, when you think about the way you and I used to try and lose weight, which was either A, stop eating, or B, eat all those processed crap, nothing foods, and be starving all the time.
Yep.
I learned a lot, and this time I am never hungry. I mean, I am doing this the way that will work for me, and I don't think I would know all that if I hadn't tried all the other ways first.
Yes.
Yeah.